Hello, good afternoon, good evening. It is Tuesday again. We made it through another week. I am making a lot of music right now, which is exciting. Let me know how you're doing, what you're working on, even if you're watching this back after the fact. I want to know what you're doing. Tell me. Even if you're not one of my students, I still want to know because I'm curious. What are you singing right now? What are you writing? What are you creatively doing to keep yourself going? How are you giving to your creative self right now? How are you keeping the joy alive through everything that's happening right now? That's an important thing. Because like living in the world as an adult is hard enough. I don't want your creative stuff to be another part of the hard, right? Like hard and good for you growth-wise kind of can go hand in hand sometimes, but there's a line, like I tend to overdo and overthink, and that makes things harder than they need to be. And that applies to my creative stuff too. But it's a thing that I have to constantly keep reminding myself, like, this is fun, right? This is what I'm doing for fun, to keep my soul alive, to keep myself enjoying life. Like, this is what I love to do. And yes, it is becoming my profession. However, it doesn't have to be the hard, right? It can be something that we acknowledge is not as easy as just watching TV, obviously, because there is some skill set that has to be built, and that is not easy, because as I was telling somebody today, you have to suck for a while before you get better. And we hate that, especially as adults, especially as perfectionist adults. We don't like that feeling of sucking, of failing, of feeling like we don't have the ability to get better. But that's never usually the case, right? Like, look back on anything that you've tried in your life, and if you gave it some time, like a year at least, did you not improve at least a little bit, right? Like, it's so easy for us as adults to get caught up in the ROI of a thing, right? Like, am I really going to spend thousands of dollars on lessons to get better at a thing when I don't really believe that it's possible for me to get to career level within a year, right? But that's not why we do it, right? Like, I have friends who take dance classes not because they're trying to be on So You Think You Can Dance, or they're trying to be on Broadway currently. They just love it. They want to get better at dancing so they can be in community theater shows. They want to get better at dancing so they can be more fit, Same thing with singing. It doesn't always have to be the ROI. It can just be because you love it, and we still want to get better in our own ways, right? You may not get to Broadway in this lifetime, and that's okay. Or you might, who knows what would happen, but we can't ever know what will happen if we don't give ourselves the space to grow into something different than what is possible right now. And that's so much of what I talk about with the gremlin voice, right? Like, your gremlin only knows what it has experienced. And so that voice in your head that's telling you to just give up, you're not going to be good enough anyway, why are you trying so hard, why are you spending money, blah, blah, blah. Especially in this economy, all that stuff, The gremlin's job is to keep you within the confines of what you already know. And it's using the guise of safety, right? Like, hey, logically, I know that you are safe if you stay in the things that we've already done. Anything outside of that is deemed unsafe. Makes sense, right? Because it's unknown. the brain can't guarantee your safety. So there's that. So taking voice lessons is a big leap for a lot of people. If you haven't done it in a while, if you have never done it, if you used to be in choir and it's been 20 years, like, your brain and your nervous system is not calibrated to that growth system. It doesn't see the reward of that immediately, and it's just thinking, how is this a possible danger for you, right? It feels gross to have huge expectations and then have the normal suckiness come up for you when you're learning something new, or when you're trying stuff and the sounds don't come out of your mouth the way you want it to, and you judge yourself based on that, right? Based on the fact that, oh, I could sound like a professional right now, but I sound like this. That is a gross feeling to do that to yourself, right? So we really have to acknowledge, and this is why we learn about ourselves and our minds and our whole system as one, because if you just look at it on the technical skill level, yeah, that's disappointing. Obviously, I get that. But if you look at yourself as, number one, a nervous system, there is some stuff there that is blocking you from expanding because it doesn't know that you are safe yet. And the only way to do that is to keep going along this path and just say, look, I'm taking one more step. I know that I don't have a guarantee, but I'm going to do it anyway. And I know that I've got me in the long run. I'm in charge here. I'm the adult in the room. And then there's also the gremlin that comes in, which is the amalgamation of all of your old teachers, parents, authority figures that have told you, like, hey, be careful. You might not want to stick your neck out for that because you might not get it. You might be disappointed. That's what the gremlin is. And it's an extension of your nervous systems. Need to keep you in what is known, right? And so if you're walking along this path and you're feeling this, like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, that means that you're in the right place, right? So often we're conditioned to think that, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, I should probably not, right? I should just not. I should run away. I should stop, because what's the point anyway? I'm not going to get to Broadway, because we're so taught to judge based on what is realistic, not what is possible over a long period of time. There are 50-something-year-old adults right now that are in their first Broadway show because they didn't give up. Because everybody told them that if you're past 20, there's no point in trying. But they didn't listen to that voice. And they said, look, it's a long game. I'm going to keep working. I'm going to keep dancing. I'm going to keep doing the thing that makes me happy. And eventually, I will gain these skills because I have stopped putting up this wall in front of myself that says, the gap is too big, I might as well stop now. But how does any gap get bridged? One moment, one step, 1 inch at a time. And within that distance, it's going to feel gross. It's going to feel scary. It's going to feel unknown. And your nervous system's going to yell at you. Your gremlin's going to yell at you. Your body's going to tighten up because it doesn't know. There's no guarantee of safety. And this is how we learn on a physiological level, because you're giving with every step you take into unknown land, you're giving your body and your voice a little bit more evidence that it's okay. Like, I can expand. I can make some bigger sounds. I can make some higher notes happen. I can try this run and mess up 100 times before I get it right. And I didn't die. I am alive. I'm here. I am growing. It doesn't feel comfortable, but I am growing. And this next step is going to feel gross again, right? It doesn't ever go away if you could keep expanding, right? You can get up a couple steps to what felt hard yesterday. You're here now and it doesn't feel hard, right? Like, for example, learning how to belt higher and higher, right? Like, maybe you can only belt on an F right now and that feels doable. And so you try, you feel the suckiness, you feel gross, and then you work your way up to a G, right? Okay, now I can belt a G, no problem. Look at that. 2 months ago, I couldn't even do that. And then you work your way up to an A. 2 months ago, I couldn't even do that. But if you stay there and you say, okay, that's it, I'm good, of course, nothing's ever going to feel scary again, right? If you stay in your comfort zone. But if you continue to grow and you continue to say, no, I want to belt that dang C sharp, y'all, you're going to experience more times on that journey because you're pushing bigger and bigger buttons within yourself. And you're going to have to sit in that feeling of, I can't hit that note yet. And that is not fun for most of us perfectionists, because we want to only do something if we know we can do it. This expectation is like times 10 for us perfectionists, right? I want to hit that B, but I know that if I try, it's going to be wobbly, so might as well just not try, right? That's where most of us get to in the inner workings of our mind and our nervous system. It's easier not to do that, right? So if we're working our way up and we're trying to belt higher, the nervous system is going to tense. You're going to feel tension. You're going to feel this feeling that everybody feels when they're starting to belt higher, which is, I'm squeezing really hard, right? I am really, really efforting to get up to that note. And then the note doesn't sound how you want it to. Because if you've been with me for a while, I use this metaphor a lot. Like, you have to open up. High notes need space. You have to let go of the wheel. This is your steering wheel. Your abs and your torso and everything else is your gas pedal, not in here. This is your steering wheel, so we have to let go of the wheel. And that takes a lot of faith, right? Like, try telling a scared little kid when they're 16 to let go of the wheel. They're not gonna do it. And that is what you are in every moment when you're growing. You're learning a new skill. You're being put in new situations. Your brain and your nervous system is freaking out because you're in a new situation. Understandably, it's not a bad thing. It's not a problem. It is your normal biology and how you are hardwired to work. So we just have to know that, accept that there's going to be this gross feeling for a little bit, accept that it's going to suck, accept that you're going to feel inadequate, accept that your gremlin's going to come in real hard and be like, hey, are you sure you should be doing this? Because there's no guarantee. And you have to be the one to be like, look, I knew all this was going to happen. I anticipated the nerves. I anticipated the shakiness. I anticipated not being able to hit this note or take a full breath, because that's what my body is doing in the space of this scary thing. And I'm going to try it anyway. Scary, terrifying even. So this is why we need support. This is why I'm here as a co-regulator for you. If you're not working with me, why not? You have a co-regulator ready to work with you. I have a whole program full of co-regulators waiting for you to sing with you. So give yourself the gift of allowing yourself to expand by getting support. Even if it's not me, go find a singer friend that will support you and knows this feeling of, I know it's going to suck, but you got to try anyway. And who will be there with you and say, yes, that was so much more open. Look at you go. And then the times when it's not quite there, they'll be like, that was amazing. You tried so hard. Let's do it again. Without judgment, right? Without telling you should stop trying. That's not a good co-regulator. That is an extension of your gremlin, so choose wisely, but get the support you need. Ask for help, right? This is a long, hard road. Like I said at the beginning, like, it shouldn't be that hard, right? It is hard work. It teaches you resilience, and it shouldn't be so much that it breaks you, which is why we have a community to do this with. Right? You don't have to do all this alone. So all that being said, it's so important to know what your mechanism can do and what it is capable of and why it is doing the things it is doing. Why are we shutting down when we're trying to hit that high note in your chest voice? Why are we squeezing and getting small? Why is the larynx popping up when you're trying to hit a high head voice note? We learn all this stuff, and we learn exercises and ways to remind ourselves that we are safe and to choose a different path, right? It is not something you can just force yourself into that other path if your body's not feeling ready, which is why I don't do normal like vocal training with people, right? It has to include your nervous system. It has to include your brain. It has to include your whole self and all of your experiences singing. It has to include the whole picture. Your whole body is singing, not just this little bit of you, right? It's not just about here, like, fix this technique and you'll be better. It has to include all of the layers of you that are the foundation to your voice underneath that. So this is why I do the work that I do. It's not just suck it up and do the hard work and hustle kind of voice lessons. This is about safety, right? I talk a lot about the nervous system because I learned so much from Ruby Rose Fox, who has her own method, Fox method, who I learned from, and that is the basis of how I keep teaching my students now. She learned a whole lot from Dr. Stephen Porges and Deb Dana, who talk about polyvagal theory, which is the science of safety. So this is what I continue to bring into my coaching, is it's not helpful or sustainable to teach more and more difficult vocal technique or push people past their limits without talking about what's happening on the inside, without talking about what's happening in your brain, without talking about what's happening in your nervous system and how safe your body feels, right? Stage fright, Ruby Rose says in her book, stage fright is body fright, right? It is your body not feeling safe to do this bigger expanded thing that you're about to do, whether that is singing on stage in front of people, hitting a bigger belty note, going up into your high head voice, singing a run that you've never tried before. Whatever your edge is, your body does not feel safe to do it yet because it hasn't experienced it. Understandable, totally makes sense. And we have to go through a number of different steps to make your body feel safe again. Not make, allow. Allow your body to feel safe again over time so that it can expand, so that it can feel joy in these notes, so that it can allow you to have fun again as an expanded singer and not just in your comfort zone, right? Like, I know you. I know that you sit and you sing in the places that you feel comfortable, and you don't take this step out because it feels hard and it feels impossible and gross and you don't want to get it wrong. I get it. I hear you. That's a perfectionist brain talking. I got one too. I feel ya. And there's a way out, but it is a long game. So if you're ready for that, make a commitment with yourself that you are going to face with your gremlin every day. When that voice comes in and it's like, hey, you sure you should do that? Are you sure you're going to get it right? Your job is not to be like, oh yeah, you're right. Maybe I should stop. Your job is to be like, no, F you. This is how we grow. We have to sit in the hard moments. We have to keep trying for those bigger notes. Otherwise, we don't become resilient, right? We can't keep growing and keep expanding because we're training that muscle of imperfection, right? And on the way to training that muscle of imperfection, you're going to be faced with a lot of imperfection. A lot of weird, gross feeling sounds are going to come out of your mouth. If you're trying to belt a higher and higher note, you're going to have some cracks. There's no getting around it. That's the way to get there. You're going to have some tightness, right? You're going to have moments where you don't like what comes out of your mouth. And we have to become okay with that. We have to say, nope, gremlin, go away. This is part of the deal, buddy. We're gonna have some suckiness that's gonna come in, and we're doing it together, right? We are doing it together because this is how we grow. This is how we expand. And if your edge is singing in front of people, maybe, just maybe, we find a safer feeling person to try singing in front of, knowing that, expecting that your nerves are going to show up. You're going to get shaky. You're going to get sweaty. You're going to hit wrong notes. But there's no amount of just singing by yourself in your bedroom that's going to get you to the expansion of singing in front of other people. An open mic, perhaps. That may be step 5 down the road. Maybe you find one person that feels safe to take your first step with, and know that these things are going to come and derail you, but you do it anyway. And you say, this is the path. This is the way. If you watch The Mandalorian, this is the way. There's no other way to train your nervous system than to go do a slightly scarier thing than your comfort zone. That's it. I'm sorry to tell you. There's no magic fix to this. There's no 5 steps to, nailing a Broadway audition if you've never done it before. Like, you got to take the little steps, and you have to find the joy in it. You have to find the joy in the hard. And that is the hard part. Honestly, it's real tough. But you are resilient. You can absolutely do it. You can find those moments where you get frustrated, and you can change course. You can change how you perceive yourself. You can change what voice you're listening to on the inside of your head. You can hear that gremlin voice and you say, nope, we're not listening to you today. You can do that. You have the choice in every moment to do that, believe me. But it has to come from a willingness to get through hard feelings, and a excitement about where you can get to, knowing that the road is going to be pretty rocky to get there, and you can still find joy along the way. Like, laugh at yourself when you mess up, when you make a weird sound. Amazing. Like, record it, laugh at yourself later. It's not a big deal. Everybody does it. All of your favorite singers, this is the path that they had to take. They just did it a long time ago, and you're doing it now, and that is so admirable. If you are working on your voice as an adult, congratulations. You're doing one of the hardest damn things out there. So good for you. And I love you, and I support you, and I'm here for you. If you need a co-regulator, let me know. I'm here. That's what I do. I have a whole program for this purpose, to help people find their singing family, their singing co-regulators, so that we can get through this hard stuff of nervous system training and safety and singing and performing together, because it's real hard alone. So if you're curious, let me know. I am in the process of re-editing my free workshop, which is called Every Note is Easy, which goes more in depth on these topics, and that will be up by the end of the month. So if you're wanting a free thing, wait a couple weeks, that will be up. But if you're feeling like maybe it's time to take a little deeper dive and to find some co-regulation and some support in your voice this year, I'm here for you. My vocalmagic program is open, and it won't be open for much longer, because it's not something that I like to keep open to the public forever, because I really want people to be in my world and to know they want to work with me before they want to jump in. But it's open to you right now. Just DM me and I'll send you all the details. You can do it. I believe in you. It also is a really good way to feel like you are getting support without having to take an hour every week for a vocal lesson, and all the money that entails as well. Although I do have private session spots open occasionally, this is the other option, the other more affordable, more flexible option. It's a membership. So even in a rhymes with procession time, it might be more available and accessible to you than having to save for a lot of private vocal lessons. So that's another benefit. Let me know if you have questions. I'm here for you, and I love you. Okay, thanks for being here, and happy singing, and go sing for funsies today. because you deserve it. Okay, bye.